Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Anticipate each challenge. Make a quick response. Capitalize on every opportunity. And win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
How much have you added weight since your rookie year?
Bro, I think I was like 20?
Rookie, you were
40 pounds.
You
I'm
were
like 265.
You 265 right now?
In between that and like 273, I'm floating in there.
You have looked at a scale and it said 273.
With shoes on, but still.
Too little.
That's not phone posits either, right?
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Come pigeon with us, Roser. Roser, right here.
You get downward dog.
Yes,
Okay.
You're going to go leg up,
Cannot.
Okay.
leg under.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I thought that's what you were doing.
You go back.
Yeah, but then you sit. Oh, you're flexible.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish, speaking to you for the Built Ford Tough Studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you've had a chance to read about or watch some of the coverage from last night's Memphis Sports Hall of Fame inductions, because it looked like a sweet scene. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, around 10:20, Nicole Auerbach is going to join me. She is a lead college football writer and college basketball insider for NBC Sports. I knew her when she was just a rising star. Now she's a fully developed star on network television. We'll talk college football, maybe a little college basketball with her. Nicole Auerbach going to be here in about 20 minutes. When I finish talking to Nicole, I'll take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Sabrina Ionescu hit a massive shot in the final seconds to lift the New York Liberty over the Minnesota Lynx last night. Incredible drama in the WNBA Finals. We'll show you the shot. We'll do it in about 40 minutes. Meantime, nobody hit a massive shot for the New York Mets last night. I mean, nobody. They got blanked by the Los Angeles Dodgers at home. Final score 8-0. Walker Buehler came through. That's
After I trashed him.
Man.
Damn.
He came through. I tip my hat. Shohei Ohtani homered. We'll spend a few minutes on that sad night in just a bit. If you're tired of getting ripped off on potato chips, I got good news for you.
Okay.
I'll explain in the third segment. Another NBA preseason game, another injury for the Philadelphia 76ers. These guys need to shut it down. This time it's rookie Jared McCain. Tell you what happened a little later on in the show. And rest in peace, Liam Payne, One Direction fame, fell to his death yesterday in Argentina. It's unclear whether it was intentional or accidental. Either way, it's clear that he was struggling. I'll tell you what we know during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carryout and call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I did want to start with the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame inductions, because they happened last night inside the Renaissance Convention Center. 11 individuals were inducted, most notably Zach Randolph, Andre Turner, Reggie White, and Jarvis Greer, which makes, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jarvis Greer the first Grind City Media employee to be inducted into the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame. Congrats to him. Do you agree?
I think that's accurate.
I think that's him.
Yeah,
I think
that's
Jarvis
accurate.
is the first. I think you're going to be the second.
Because TA hasn't been inducted into
TA will probably be the second. TA will probably be the second.
Yeah.
And then Bennett Doyle's going to be the third. I'm going to be there. I'm going to introduce you at your Memphis Sports Hall of Fame induction.
Also, a massive congratulations to my uncle, Ken Bennett, who was inducted last night. Love you, Uncle Ken.
I love Uncle Ken, too.
Yeah.
He's not my uncle, but I do love him just as much as you do.
Very happy for him. That was cool to see him get that moment last night.
I think it's funny that your name's Bennett and you have an uncle named Ken Bennett.
Yeah, it was my mom's, his sister, my mom's, his maiden, that was her maiden name.
Well, that's sweet.
Yeah, so.
They love each other?
I think she was there last night, so yeah.
I love Kim Bennett too.
Yeah.
Just like you
Founder of Streets Ministries,
one of the
great Memphians.
Like really, one of the great Memphians.
So, yeah,
like
I'm super happy for him.
Has spent his life, let me stop goofing around for a second.
Yeah.
Has dedicated his life to helping people in South Memphis.
Yes.
Has dedicated he could live anywhere he wants to live, do anything he wants to do. We all like to think we're trying, we all like to think we're doing our part. Most of us aren't, Most of us aren't doing our part.
Right.
We like to think we are, because we'll send a check to somewhere or, we'll show up and, wave at somebody. But most of us aren't really making any difference whatsoever.
Right, exactly.
Yes. We're not.
I know.
Ken Bennett is somebody who has made a difference in people's lives.
I know. It's funny because I sit here and talk on a microphone every day.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything.
I'm not doing anything.
I'm not changing the world. I'm not accomplishing anything.
Right.
Ken Bennett has actually changed people's lives for the better.
No question.
What are we doing?
I know, dude.
I mean, what are we? We're getting ready to talk about potato chips for probably 25 minutes. We're probably going to have a 25-minute conversation about potato chips today.
Yeah. That's my legacy.
That's our contribution to the world.
Yeah.
Ken Bennett doing God's work.
Yes.
Down there in South Memphis.
Yes, he is.
Congratulations to him.
Yep.
Zach Randolph, Andre Turner, Reggie White, Jarvis Greer, first Grind City Media employee to be inducted in the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame. I think Tony Allen will be next, and then I think Bennett Doyle is third. Maybe Ken Bennett should, as a already member of the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame, he should probably introduce you. But I would like to.
That'd be cool.
I would like to do it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a special night. I'm looking forward to your night.
I'll fight for it, yeah.
I'm looking forward to your night. In all seriousness, Andre Turner has been famous and celebrated since I was a child. Zach Randolph has his number and name inside FedEx Forum. He's been honored before. A lot of these people who were honored last night have been honored before in various ways, and yet you can still tell just by reading the quotes or watching the clips that it really does mean something to them to be celebrated, not just in another Hall of Fame, but in the Sports Hall of Fame of a city they either were raised in or have spent important years of their life in. For Andre Turner, it's raised here, important years here. This is his home. For Zach Randolph, this is where you had the best years of your professional career. And one of the things I really do like about the history of the Memphis Grizzlies is that we have people who have moved here and stayed here, or at least made a second home here. You so often hear, turn on any Chandler Parsons podcast, and you're going to hear about how awful Memphis is as a destination for NBA players, because it is a small market. It's not Los Angeles. It's not New York. It's not Miami. We got it. But Mike Miller could live anywhere, and he chose to live here after he was here. TA is here.
Yep.
I like how much some of those guys have not only made millions here and won games here, but spent real time here and raised children here.
Yes.
And become a real part of the community. Tony Allen is from Chicago. He could live anywhere. He's here every Tuesday.
Yep.
We see him every Tuesday, and it's awesome. And I don't begrudge anybody who, like, say, Mike Conley, who comes here, lives here while he works here, and then when he works somewhere else, he goes there, and when he retires, he'll probably settle in Columbus, Ohio, and he might go 10 years between back and forth trips to Memphis, right? I don't begrudge anybody for that. Marc Gasol's not going to make his home in Memphis, right? That's fine, but I can appreciate when people do choose to.
Me too.
And Zach has become a real important, he's got a real legacy here, and I don't know that on the day they traded for him, you could have ever reasonably imagined that he would have a real positive legacy here?
No, I mean, I think you're right. Like, I can remember back to that time when they traded for him. And I think people were excited because Zebo had kind of established himself as a good NBA player, but I don't think anyone thought that it was going to turn into what it turned into. I mean, he literally made the city, like, I know that, like, because I was there for the early playoff runs, like the first 3 years when they didn't win a playoff game, those first 3 playoff runs. But the city really just, and it's been said over and over again, that group with Zebo, Tony, Mark, Mike, like the city embraced the Grizzlies and fell in love with the Grizzlies with that group.
I thought it was a mistake. What I thought you were doing is bringing somebody else's problem to your city. Because he had been a problem in his career. He would tell you this, by the way.
For sure. He said it publicly.
I'm not talking behind his back. Zach would tell you this.
Yes.
He had a not so great reputation because of some not so great stuff that he had been involved in. And I remember when the trade went down, I was like, what are they doing? I mean, I've never gone back and listened to what I said, but I imagine it would have been something along the lines of, what are they doing? Like the Clippers wanted to get rid of this guy. You did them a favor. All right? This guy's been a problem on some level everywhere he's been. How is he not going to be a problem here? And I remember you get some pushback a little from people in the organization, but they would never just completely be like, oh, no, you've got the wrong idea. They'd be like, yeah, it is what it is, but I bet you're going to end up liking him. But yeah, there is a rough side to it, but I bet you're going to end up liking him. And as long as we're telling the truth here, there were things that would pop up every once in a while I was with the Grizzlies that would make you go, ugh, what happened there? But I remember having a conversation and somebody said, the stuff you think there's some truth to that, but you're going to like this guy when you get around him. And I think that is probably the best description of Zach Randolph I've ever heard. There's some stuff that, just Google it. But it is impossible to be around that guy and not like him and not smile and appreciate the way he smiles when he's thinking about and talking about this city. And for him to get to have that night last night, I love seeing him get it.
Me too.
And every time I see him back in FedEx Forum, I love that as well. Andre Turner, I really like that one.
Yeah.
That is somebody who I have known has existed my entire life. My introduction to sports, the first thing I ever cared about, the first 2 things I ever cared about in sports were Memphis State basketball and the New York Mets. Those were the first 2 things. So when I'm talking about, last night watching the pregame before Game 3 Mets-Dodgers, and Doc and Daryl were on the set with Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter and David Ortiz. And I look at that and I just love that. Those 2 people are big figures from my childhood, and I just couldn't get enough of it. And right there with them was Andre Turner. Darryl Strawberry, Dwight Gooden, Keith Lee, Andre Turner, Jerry Lawler. Let's call that. Those are the big figures from my...
That was your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bigger than Mount Rushmore,
sure,
I acknowledge,
yeah.
But you get the point. Andre Turner was a part of that. I don't want to say that when I was a kid I wore number 10 because of Andre Turner, because I don't know if that's entirely true, because I also remember loving Diego Maradona, and he was number 10. And if you're out there going, my God, you sure didn't really know how to pick good role models between Darryl Strawberry, Dwight Gooden, and Diego Maradona.
Yeah.
I hear you, but you love what you love. So I don't know that I wore number 10 when I was small strictly because of Andre Turner, but I know that I wore number 10 when I was young, and I do believe that that was probably a part of it. My middle name is Turner, Gary Turner Parrish, because my father was Gary Turner Parrish Sr., and then my grandfather was Albert Turner Parrish. Turner has been a name. My oldest son's name is Aiden Turner. We've kept that around for the time being for whatever reason. But I would call myself Andre Turner Parrish.
That's pretty good.
I can remember as a kid calling myself Andre Turner Parrish. So that guy, I don't even know if he knows all this stuff. I don't know that I've ever expressed this to him. But you know what I do know? That thousands of people have expressed that to him over the years, what he meant to them in that time. And I don't want to overstate it, but my kids are now they don't see Memphis basketball that way at all. And I don't think many kids see Memphis basketball that way anymore because the Grizzlies are more of the my kids look at Ja Morant like that. When you ask Louis when he's 47 years old, who's the first basketball player he ever remembers loving and caring about, he's going to say Ja Morant. But for me, it genuinely was Andre Turner. And to see him be honored in that way last night, just an awesome thing. So it looked like a special night. I believe this was the 4th edition of the Memphis Sports Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. If you're wondering why it took us, to the 2020s to get a Memphis Sports Hall of Fame, I don't know. But we got one now.
I'm glad we have it.
We got one now, and Andre Turner's in it, and Ken Bennett's in it, and Bennett Doyle's going to be there someday.
Nah.
I think so. Just got to keep working, man. You'll get there.
Yeah, I'll try my best.
You'll get what
try my best, guys.
You'll get what you deserve someday. When we come back, Nicole Auerbach is a lead college football writer, college basketball insider for NBC Sports. I want to talk to her about a number of things, but I'm going to start with an interesting story popping over the last 24 hours. You might have seen Oregon benefited from having 12 men on the field in the final minute against Ohio State late on Saturday. And the NCAA has gone in and literally altered in the middle of the season the way this type of situation will be handled going forward. Dan Lanning changed the NCAA rule book this week because of what he did on Saturday night. I'll get Nicole Auerbach to explain it to us. We'll do that next. It's the Gary Parrish Show presented by OrthoSal.
Ja Morant, this player in the NBA with the most approved going into this season.
Ja Morant is one of the best players in the world. He's one of the best players in the world.
On the court, there is no question, barring an injury, that what Ja Morant is.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What do you think about this matchup against the Pirates and the Bison?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is who in the hell put Gus Johnson as the notable alumni selection when we got Kamala Harris right now that's more relevant? It's 28 people I would have named before I would have got the Gus Johnson.
My assumption is, Mike, Hampton will find a way to come up again. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
At Southland Casino Hotel, it's time to work hard, play hard with our $500,000 giveaway. Earn entries October through November 9th and take home free play and amazing prizes on select Saturdays, including a big rig. Stay connected on social media for weekly drawing clues. Join us November 9th for the grand finale drawing where you could drive off in a four-wheeler, side-by-side, or big rig. Work hard and play harder at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
We got to talk about the best wrestling that we watched all week. You're up.
I think Brunson Reed and Braun Strowman put on a 5-star match in 60 seconds. I've never seen it happen before. Brunson Reed chunks the fan at Braun. I'm like, where the hell did that dude come from?
I got a tweet saying it's a good thing they're not in Memphis, or else that would have been one of the Memphis wrestling guys getting hurled.
Exactly.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Ja Morant, this player in the NBA with the most approved going into this season.
Ja Morant is one of the best players in the world. He's one of the best players in the world.
On the court, there is no question, barring an injury, that what Ja Morant is.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What do you think about this matchup against the Pirates and the Bison?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is who in the hell put Gus Johnson as the notable alumni selection when we got Kamala Harris right now that's more relevant? It's 28 people I would have named before I would have got to Gus Johnson.
My assumption is, Mike, Hampton will find a way to come up again. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
At Southland.
Welcome back to the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio, and I'm joined now by the lead college football writer and college basketball insider for NBC Sports. It's my old pal, Nicole Auerbach. Nicole, I remember when you were just a rising star. You are a fully risen star. You're a network television star now. First, and we talked like last week, so I've already told you all this stuff, but congratulations. I'm proud of you. How's this new world been for you?
Yeah, thank you. You are also a risen star, and I'm honored to be two risen stars together right now. No, it's been really great. Obviously it's a lot more TV and broadcast stuff. So basically, we're on NBC and Peacock all day on Saturdays. I'll do some college basketball as we ramp up here. I'll be at Big East Media Day and some coverage as the season gets underway. So it's really fun. It's great to be back a little bit more in the hoop side, but also just like a totally different rhythm and changing it up after a lot of years of print first, but still getting to write. So it's been an awesome place, an awesome supportive environment, and it's been a lot of fun. The craziest part is, and you know this when you change jobs, everything goes so fast. So you have the college football season that always flies, a million upsets, and a new job. So I personally cannot believe that we're already halfway through this college football season.
You and I are similar in the sense that we got into this business to be writers, and now we mostly just talk. Do you miss any aspect of your former career?
I mean, to stay with you, where you still have the ability to write. So, if you have a strong opinion on something, my editor would be like, go ahead, green light. Like, you tell us what you think is important and what you want to write about, what you want to talk about. So I still feel that. But yeah, it's really weird to like unwire yourself from, oh, news is breaking at 11 p.m. I've got to drop everything and write 500 words about this news story. So I'm still a little bit of PTSD coming out of that with just the insane news cycle that we live in. But it is fun to figure out your opinions. I mean, this is why I'm sure you love radio so much, but like that's really enjoyable after writing and kind of wiring your brain one way is to like figure out how you feel about different things and work through it maybe on air and get to the point where you figure out your opinion, which has been a lot of fun. And I enjoy that part of it, and feeling like you have enough understanding of the landscape to be able to opine on a lot of different topics. So it's been cool. It's like working a different part of your brain, which I actually quite enjoy. I think it would be boring to just do the same thing 7 days a week. I haven't done that in a long time. It's always kind of on a different platform, but different day.
Let's talk college football. Interesting story originating out of the Oregon-Ohio State game the other night. Dan Lanning has acknowledged that he intentionally put 12 men on the field, and that ended up helping them secure that victory. In an unusual move, the NCAA quite literally altered the rule book in the middle of the season to address this. My question for you is this something Dan Lanning figured out that other coaches hadn't, or is it something that other coaches had done, it had just never been this high profile before?
Yeah, I think it's the second point there. I mean, this is not like he is the first person to ever invent this. I mean, people were pulling screenshots of old playbooks and all strategies, but it was very high profile. And I think what the NCAA doesn't want to happen is a lot of people attempting to do this. So it reminds me of, and this was something that came up in my conversations with folks around the rules committee, the Kenny Pickett fake slide. Genius, right? Like when we first saw that, we were like, did he do that on purpose? Like he faked, he was going down for a slide, the defenders back off, and then he kept running. It was awesome. And they were like, oh my gosh, immediately you cannot do that again. Like that's going to be a safety issue. That's going to be, everyone's going to start trying to do this. So it was basically the same sort of thing where they were like, hey, we can do a rules interpretation immediately and get this kind of nipped in the bud. What Dan Lanning did, if it was on purpose, is legal. Like they were allowed to do that. That's how the rule works. It was officiated correctly. But I think that they just want to try to stop this copycat world that we live in of people looking for any possible edge and something where you're really not supposed to get a huge advantage from committing a penalty yourself, right? And that's why it would incentivize people to commit a penalty. So I think it was a very easy fix there of saying, hey, like the other team gets a choice. They can reset it to what the clock was started at before you snap the ball on the penalty, or if the outcome of the play was good, they're allowed to keep the result of it, right? And so I think that's a fair outcome. But you're right, and they moved very, very quickly, and I think they had to, right, because games are about to get underway for another weekend, just to try to stop the copycat effect, which always happens in college football. If anyone thinks that anyone finds a loophole.
Talk to me about Dan Lanning specifically. Every once in a while, on the college basketball side, I'll have people and they'll say, well, I just don't know about this assistant at Gonzaga. I don't know how he's going to do getting a big job like the Arizona job. And I say, I do know him. I've known him for a long time. He's super sharp. He's going to be great. I can have an informed opinion about these people. I say that so that I can say this. I think I might have met Dan Lanning when he was here at Memphis, but I don't have any recollection of it at all. I don't know him. But I'm impressed by him. Obviously, the on-the-field stuff is undeniable. I think his career record now is 28-5 at Oregon. He's headed for the college football playoff, it appears. But when I listen to him talk, when I watch his team, he's only 38 years old. I'm impressed by every aspect of it. You know this person. Am I misguided here? Talk to me about Dan Lanning.
No, I'm completely with you. I mean, the way that I look at Dan Lanning is this is someone I would want if I were starting a college football program and I wanted to contend for national titles in the year 2024, because it's the way that they play, the style of play, the physicality, right? He's bringing his SEC roots into the way that he wants to, be at the line of scrimmage, the way that he wants to win games. He wants to run the ball. He wants to throw the ball. He wants to do all of this and have a great defense, which is his side of the ball and his background. But he totally understands NIL, embraces it. He is super into recruiting and seems to have an endless amount of energy for it. Like, these are the things that you need to have to be a coach in college football today. And my favorite thing, and I think this endeared him to certainly Oregon fans who already liked him, but I think everyone is, A&M opened, Alabama opened, these big jobs that basically have unlimited resources, were open in this last offseason. Oregon had been a place where we had seen a couple coaches use it a little bit as a stepping stone in recent cycles. He says, nope, I'm staying here. I believe I can win a national championship here. My family likes it. This is what I want to do. I have all the support I need. I don't need to ask for more things. I don't need to leverage this for a raise. I'm good. And I loved that. I thought that was just so refreshing in this day and age. And then to get a top 5 win, his first true signature win at Oregon right after that, that's why there was so much emotion. That's why there's been such a almost like a release after that win, was because of everything that led up to him and him believing that he could do this at Oregon. The way that I've been kind of framing it over the last week is Oregon's been relevant and been tied to a lot of major moments in college football over the last, 15 years. But they usually were in the game, or they had a player who did something in a game where something else happened. They were a character, but they weren't the main character. And now they are. They won this game, as you mentioned, clear path to the college football playoff. Dylan Gabriel back in the Heisman conversation. We thought he was going to be in the preseason. So it's all working. And this is Dan Lanning and the way that he wants to build this program. It's cool to have a young coach like him being one of the faces of the sport, but backing it up and getting rewarded for deciding to stay and do things a little bit differently from everyone else in college football right now. And I think that's what's really cool. And I think he's got himself a lot of fans and a lot of interest, and a lot of people also like the kind of risky way that he coaches these games too, right? The 4th down calls that he does. If the 12 man on the field was on purpose, that's a risky moment, risky play that it's actually going to work. Going for 2, some of the weird formations, like he's always coached that way. So it's always an adventure. It's always fun. And so I think it's easy to root for him or to want him to continue to win and become a true power and a true factor and a true face of the sport.
It is something you said there is something I picked up on as well, because I watched the piece that Jen Latta did on him on game day. Yeah. And because a lot of it was centered on his time at Memphis when his wife was diagnosed with cancer. And as they're telling that story, he makes the point that when he got the job at Memphis under Mike Norvell, it's the first time his family really had a real income and had real health insurance and like the normal things some of us take for granted. And to know that in a fairly short amount of time, he went from we have nothing to last December saying we have enough. It seems like he's got a really good grasp for. I wish I were more like him. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, that's why it's refreshing in college football today to have a coach be like, no, I'm good. The pasture's not always greener. And like, I've got what I need to contend for what you want me to contend for and what I want to contend for. And listen, like, it's not like Oregon is a poor program at all, right? They've got like basically also unlimited NIL resources. Their facilities projects are incredible, but it had been used as a stepping stone. You had people leave and believe that they couldn't do something at Oregon. And he's here saying, yep, we can. We can win national championships. We're not afraid of the new Big Ten. We can win these games. They embraced that environment. I think what was really cool, too, is Autzen is not usually a stadium that people list as like one of the most hostile environments in college football. And anyone who's covered a game there is like, absolutely, it gets loud. Absolutely, it is. But it's smaller. It just didn't have that reputation. So it was just kind of a really cool moment for like the entire football program and like the history of that program there to have that. But yeah, I love it. It reminds me so much of Jay Wright. And I'm sure you've had the same conversation that I've had with him a million times of actually listening when people say, don't mess with happy. Like he actually did that. He did not go to the NBA. He did not go to these bigger blue blood jobs. He was so happy at Villanova. It was a great fit. And he could contend for national championships there. Why mess with that? And it feels very similar with Dan Lanning.
So Dan Lanning was an obvious candidate at Alabama. He chooses to stay. Kalen DeBoer takes the job. There is no question this guy's an amazing football coach. Go check the Wikipedia page. He wins almost always. He did lose to Vandy and then followed it up with another one that was a little too close for comfort. Again, the guy is undeniably a great football coach, but this is the type of job that can just eat you up and get away from you very quickly. Where are we at on the Kalen DeBoer era at Alabama?
I think he's going to be fine. I agree. Like, he is a great coach. He's won at every level. Like, I really do put a lot of faith in these coaches that won at lower levels, and it translates because it's how you build your culture. It's how you build your program. The one thing that I think we maybe overlooked, we all talked about replacing Saban, replacing a legend, but I think the idea of like what the standard was of winning there was something that I don't know if we maybe talked about it enough in the right way. The idea that obviously losing to Vandy is something that Saban never did. So of course that was going to be like the sky is falling, but you know, people criticizing him for smiling after escaping with a 2-point win over South Carolina when Nick Saban is furious up, you know, a touchdown in a national championship game, like all of those types of comparisons of, well, this isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. We expect better, or, you know, we should be winning these games by 30 points instead of a touchdown. Like, I think some of that stuff about, which is what this fan base is used to seeing and expecting and what's acceptable, we may have undersold a little bit. I think that's the part that makes life more difficult in year one in Tuscaloosa. And just the idea that we were spoiled, that like, it's not actually easy to be a top 5 team every single year in this era of college football, despite roster turnover, despite staffing turnover. But Saban did it, and here we are, like actually seeing like the lulls and the rises and the just the differences depending on your roster, depending on how that individual season or the schedule falls. This is more normal, that you are going to have ebbs and flows in a season. But I'm not writing him off or anything, and I think it says something about him that he was willing to walk into this situation knowing all that was going to come here, that anytime you lose or don't win the way that you're supposed to. But it's just too soon to determine things. They lost a lot of talent off of last year's team. It was a really late coaching change. Obviously, you still have Jalen Milroe, so he's going to give you a shot to get to the playoff. But the defense has a problem. They're struggling to get off the field. Like, there's definitely some issues with this team. But we're only halfway through year one, and I just think it's a hard job, a hard place to be, and it's been a really long time since this fan base had to get used to dealing with losses or ugly wins and things that everyone else has to deal with. And so I think it's a little bit about them coming back down to earth, having a little bit more realistic expectations. And then Kalen DeBoer just getting through season one and trying to, get the players in that they need, address holes through the portal, through high school recruiting, and have a better idea of what this is going to look like in year two.
One thing on Vanderbilt, when they upset Alabama, there was a lot of talk about this could be a turning point. And I was like, I guess it could be. But, when I was in college, Memphis beat Tennessee and Peyton Manning. It wasn't a turning point. It was just something that happened. And then they went right back to being Memphis football until, the good years came. But then Vanderbilt went and backed it with a win over Kentucky. Is there some substance there? Are they actually turning a corner?
I think they are. I think you could have made the case in the Alabama game by the way that they won that game and the fact that, it wasn't a fluke. It didn't come down to some crazy play at the end of the game. It was just a better team. This is a really good example of how the portal can be good in college football, right? You're uprooting all that helped New Mexico State, which is a really hard place to win 10 games. So you're bringing Jerry Kill, you're bringing the OC, you're bringing the quarterback, you're bringing these important pieces, and it works. And it works at Vanderbilt. But yeah, to go through after a week of everybody telling you, you're awesome, this is the image of the season, one of the greatest upsets we've seen in recent memory in college football, and then for them to be double-digit underdogs and pull off the win against Kentucky, it's incredibly impressive. They probably should, they should have beat Missouri earlier this year as well. So this is not a fluke. This is not a bad team. There are definitely questions about how do you build and sustain off of this? Because there was so much roster turnover that got them to this point. But no, this is a good team. And if you look at their schedule, they're going to be playing some of these teams that are going to contend for an SEC title. And you've got to be worried about them. They absolutely have spoiler in them against some of the other big brands that are still on the schedule.
Last thing before I let you go, here locally, my Ole Miss friends are down in it a little bit. They had high expectations coming in the season. They've got 2 losses, and it's only October 17th. They still got Georgia on the schedule. Is it over, or can they still dream about the possibility of an appearance in the college football playoff?
So the reason to say never is because it's the first year of the playoff. We don't know. We don't know if a 3-loss team would get in with that type of resume. And but I would say, for my purposes, I'm thinking that they're out unless there's continual chaos. Because part of the reason that I had Ole Miss in my preseason bracket, and a lot of people did, was the schedule. It was very manageable. But when it's very manageable, also means that you need to beat those teams because you're not going to have a ton of opportunities for those signature wins, the things that help tell the selection committee that you're better than your losses, that you've learned from them, that you're better. And so you only really have one left now. And there are other teams in the SEC that have more opportunities really to play their way in or to make up some ground because they've had some shaky performances. And that's what I think is really frustrating because this was one of the programs that was the poster child for this. They were we're going all in. We're going to make this thing. We're going to go to the portal. We're going to address our needs. We're going to be tougher mentally, physically this year. And then they go and lose games that they really shouldn't. And losing a game in which the opponent never led for literally 0 seconds in a game is wild. But that's exactly the kind of thing you can't do. And so for my purposes, they're out unless there's a lot more chaos. And I think that's really, really frustrating. But just based on this being so new and not knowing how the selection committee is going to work, you still got to keep them in a little bit of a category off to the side because they don't have 3 losses yet. And even 3-loss teams, depending on the schedule, might still be in this thing when we get to the end of November.
That is Nicole Auerbach from NBC Sports, a lead college football and college basketball insider. You can follow her on X at Nicole Auerbach. That's at Nicole Auerbach. I know how busy you are. I appreciate your time. It was great to see you in, where were we? Chicago a week or 2 ago, and I can't wait to see you again. Thank you for being here.
All right. Thanks for having me. Anytime, Gary.
Bye-bye. That's Nicole Auerbach from NBC Sports. When we come back, I was obviously locked in on Game 3 of the NLCS last night, but undeniably, the bigger sporting event in America was in the WNBA Finals. Sabrina called game. Incredible shot. We'll show it to you next. It's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Congratulations to the Vanderbilt Commodores. They have actually hit the over on their win total for the season. Winning number 3. Their total was 2.5.
Hey, listen. If I had told you Vanderbilt was going to hit the over on their win total against Alabama, you guys would have kicked me off the show.
Crazy. Absolutely insane.
I tried to argue that they were going to be bowl eligible.
I said that was good, and they still might not be.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What do you think about this matchup against the Pirates and the Bison?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is who in the hell put Gus Johnson as the notable alumni selection when we got Kamala Harris right now that's more relevant? It's 28 people I would have named before I would have got the Gus Johnson.
My assumption is, Mike, Hampton will find a way to come up again. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
We got to talk about the best wrestling that we watched all week. You're up.
I think Brunson Reed and Braun Strowman put on a 5-star match in 60 seconds. I've never seen it happen before. Brunson Reed chunks the fan at Braun. I'm like, where the hell did that dude come from?
I got a tweet saying it's a good thing they're not in Memphis, or else that would have been one of the Memphis wrestling guys getting hurled.
Exactly.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. And that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now, I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Final score, Liberty 80, Lynx 77 in Game 3 of the WNBA Finals last night. Sabrina Ionescu was the star. Tie game, final seconds, ball in her hands. You've probably seen what happened already, but let's watch it together.
Okay. They still have their reset. Into Phoebish. 8 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter of Game 3. 4 seconds. Ionescu will heave and hit and
buddy.
hit. Sabrina Ionescu with the biggest shot in Liberty history. They still have their
What a
That was
shot.
cool.
I'm so weird. Let me tell you how weird I am. And it might be troubled. You tell me.
Okay.
I care about this.
What do you mean?
I care about the WNBA Finals. I care about what's happening, but I've been boycotting them.
Why?
Because I'm offended that how they schedule.
Yeah.
I'm offended at the scheduling.
Oh, well, now they're scheduling against your
I'm
your
offended.
series. I
I'm
understand,
offended
yeah.
that they schedule against college football and the NFL and the NLCS, and I guess it's not their fault.
No, they did okay last night.
But I get offended. I'm like, there's a better way to do this, and the fact that you're not doing it that better way makes me want to prove a point to you. So I'm not watching.
Nah, I mean,
and I realize I'm not proving a point to anybody, but this is really the stuff that goes on in my head.
Well, I mean, shoot, dude, at least they got ESPN treatment. Like, they put y'all on the C channel.
I know, Bennett.
They put y'all on the C channel. Y'all gonna be on Fox D next.
Be on Fox Sports 2 tonight.
Y'all gonna be on FS2.
I'm assuming Game 5 is gonna be on True TV or something. And I should probably stop saying stuff like that about True TV. I think I'm.
Yeah, I think you're partners with them. Be careful.
I think I have a partnership with them, so maybe I should stop using them as an example. But you get the. Here's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah,
I've been boycotting the WNBA Finals out of principle. I consider myself a principled man sometimes. Can you be a principled man sometimes?
I try, but
I consider
think I'm failing.
myself to be a principled man sometimes.
Okay.
So when I'm sitting here, I got myself all worked up. I'm going, I just hate that I've spent all summer watching the WNBA and talking about the WNBA, and then we get to the biggest part of the WNBA, and they're going up against the NFL and in the NLCS. I'm not going to participate because I'm so offended by their approach.
Seems silly to me.
I know it's silly.
Yeah.
Because I'm not proving a point to anybody. I'm sitting alone in my office. Okay? I'm not proving a point to anybody. But I swear to God, this is exactly the truth. Last night, I had 7 TVs in front of me. Like, I could put everything on. I chose not to. Because I'm a principled man sometimes. But you ready?
It's disappointing.
You ready? At some point, the tweets would not stop.
Oh, yeah. No, I was dialed in.
People were fired up about this game, and I had to. Maybe this is why I'm only a principled man sometimes, because I put my principles aside.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, you proved your point. You can watch. And I turned it on, and boy, was I treated to – that's real drama.
Yeah, I mean –
that's great shot. That's everything you want.
I think we actually owe Sabrina an apology because we haven't spent a ton of time during our WNBA discussions this summer talking about Sabrina Ionescu. And, dude, she's obviously one of the best players in the league. I also think one of the most popular. Like, I'm pretty sure she has the most popular shoe in the league.
Oh, she's a big deal.
Yeah, like those Sabrina. Well, the 2s I guess are the new ones that are coming out. But yeah, she's huge.
And she's got a little something to her. Did you see the post-game interview last night?
I saw I believe the quote was, that was pretty good for second team. Yeah.
She was clearly took offense that she wasn't on first team. So that's just a great shot by a second team all WNBA player.
I like it.
And the woman who was guarding her was asked about it, and she was like, "Listen, this is a great shot by a great player. What do you want me to do?" And it's really not. If somebody's going to take that shot and make that shot on you. Just in basketball, no, there's not much you can do about that.
Right.
If somebody's willing to take that shot and they can make that shot, there's not really a whole lot you can do with them. And if you start trying to do too much with them, which just extend your defense all the way out there, well, now you've got big problems because you've left all this space to play in. It's just a hard thing to defend, and that's why they couldn't defend it. I couldn't help but also think this, because they were opposite the NLCS, Dodgers, Mets, Shohei Lindor, the whole thing, right? And I know I care about it more than most, but like Dodgers, Mets, NLCS is pretty big with Shohei and Lindor on opposite sides. And yet, whether you track it on social media, I bet TV ratings will bear this out, more people were paying attention to the Game 3 of the WNBA Finals than they were Game 3 of the NLCS. They just were.
Yeah.
That's the way it felt to me.
Yeah, because it was over pretty quick.
It just.
Yeah. When was it 4-0? What inning?
Went 2-0 second inning, and then 4-0 month. That was like not till the 5th or so.
Okay.
It broke open. In the middle of the game to where it felt like the 7th, 8th, 9th were just nothing. It was over by then. But it was a real baseball game for a minute. I seem to notice more people right now seem to be watching Game 3 of the WNBA Finals and seem to care about Game 3 of the WNBA Finals more than they're watching Game 3 of the NLCS or caring about Game 3 of the NLCS. And I couldn't help but think, that is also the Caitlin Clark effect. Even though she's not in this at all, obviously, her presence throughout the season made us more aware of everything and everybody. Like Breanna Stewart became a bigger star this year because of Caitlin Clark. Everybody, A'ja Wilson became a bigger star this year because of Caitlin Clark. Not because she reminded the world that she's the best WNBA player who exists, because a lot of people didn't even know that a year ago, even though it was just as true a year ago as it is right now. Caitlin Clark comes into that league, the spotlight is now on it. We just learn more than we ever even cared to learn. My point being this. Sabrina Ionescu could have made that exact shot last night under those exact same circumstances, and it would have been off of most people's radar a year ago. But because of how big the WNBA got this year, because of the presence of Caitlin Clark, now we're in it. We're like, oh, yeah, I know her too. Oh, yeah, I know her too. Oh, yeah, I know that team. And now you're in it, and then they deliver.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I saw Mark Titus tweet earlier, like these championship series in baseball, well, the Yankees are up 2-0, and the Mets and Dodgers, it's a competitive series, but the games aren't competitive.
Right.
In every game so far in the Mets-Dodgers, somebody has been up 6-0 in all 3 games. The series isn't delivering competitive, compelling stuff. Not yet. It might, but not yet. They're delivering.
Yes.
The WNBA is delivering, and that shot, I'm not a historian. I don't know if that was the biggest shot in New York Liberty history, but that is a massive shot.
Mm-hmm.
When she goes into all the Hall of Fame someday, that'll be a shot that they'll show.
Number 2.
Game 3 of the NLCS sucked.
Yeah, I was bored. That Shohei homer was cool, though.
He's cool.
He crushed that thing.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Yes, he did. We owe Walker Buehler an apology.
Oh, my God. It's so funny. It kept happening, first off. Like, he was in, I believe twice he was in a bad spot and got out of it.
When he got out of it, the bases loaded spot.
With 1 out. That was, oof.
And he gets Lindor. You saw him come off the mound, and he looked like old Walker Buehler.
Mm-hmm.
John Smoltz talked about this last night, who I love, by the way. John Smoltz, ruined my entire childhood. He's great as an analyst.
Yeah, I think so,
on
too.
these games. He always says things that I go, that's interesting. Like, I've been watching baseball my whole life, and every once in a while he will say something that I'll go, I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want in an analyst. What am I looking for in an analyst? I don't need them to be loud. I don't need them to yell. I don't need them to have cool catchphrases. I can appreciate all that. That's not what I need. Prove to me in this broadcast that you know more about what I'm watching than I know. Tell me something I'm not seeing. I can watch it. What can you add to it?
Mm.
John Smoltz is great at that. So he made the point last night. Walker Buehler has been not good since he returned from injury. He was not good last week against San Diego. He settled down after he got hit a little bit, but he entered last night's game with a postseason ERA of 10.80. He has not been good since he came back from injury. One of the points John Smoltz made was, but he can be comfortable in this spot that he's in right now because he's been in it before. He knows what this feels like. And the point Smoltz made, and he made the same point about Lou Severino as well. The point was, and he actually put it like this, there is no regular season game in the history of baseball where in the second inning, the stakes are big, the stadium's full, everybody's on their feet. He said, think about this. 162 games in ballparks all around the country. You can't replicate this in the regular season. Nothing feels like this.
Mm-hmm.
But Walker Buehler's felt this before. This isn't new to him.
Right.
If you're a pitcher in his first postseason appearance and suddenly you're in a second inning jam and it feels that, you can't feel that in the regular season. There is no second inning jam that has an entire stadium on its feet at any point in the regular season. Not game 1, not game 162. So the point Smoltz made was, if he can get out of this, he's going to recapture some of that, I can do this, that mental stuff. And you saw what happened.
Mm-hmm.
He got out of it. He didn't pitch 8 innings, but he went 4, only gave up 3 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, lots of swings and misses. And he gave up 0 earned runs. He did his job.
Mm-hmm.
He has not been doing his job well lately, but he did his job last night. And I genuinely obviously I want him to get his head knocked off, right? But I can appreciate stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just as a fan of competition, because in sports, confidence and a strong mental approach is not the most important thing. It's not. You know what is the most important thing in sports? Athleticism and skill. That's the most important thing. I can be as confident as I want, but I can't go play shortstop in the NLCS, right? You need athleticism, you need skill, you need that. That's the most important stuff. But once you have that and you're in a competition against other people who have that, do you know what often separates the winners from the losers? Bob Rotella is like a sports psychologist. He used to be here in Memphis all the time. He'd work with the Tigers when John Calipari was the coach. So I've met him. But he's a pretty famous sports psychologist. And I just sort of stumbled into some conversation he was having with somebody. It's like a little clip you stumble into on YouTube or Instagram or wherever. And he said that they did a study on golfers. I believe this was a study on golfers, but I think it applies to anything in sports and competition. He said, you start ranking the best 200 people, the best 300 people at any competitive thing in the world. What you will find is what separates 200 from 150 is typically skill stuff, athleticism stuff, physical stuff. What separates 150 from 50? Physical stuff, size, strength, speed, skill, that stuff. You know what he said separates 1 from 11? When you're trying to separate, what's the difference between a person ranked 50th and 150th? Well, the person ranked 50th is just a little more gifted physically, a little faster, a little quicker, a little more skilled. It's all stuff to do with your body. He said what our studies show is that when you are trying to figure out what separates 1 from 11, 1 from 15, 5 from 20, the true best of the best, why are these 10 people better than everybody else? It's not physical stuff. It's not athleticism, quickness, speed, skill. You know what it is? Mental. It's their approach, their mental approach. Scottie Scheffler isn't obviously more naturally gifted or physically capable at playing golf than the person who is ranked 15th in the world. But this is where he's different. It's the approach. And I think that applies to all sorts of sports. And to circle it back to this, I don't think it's a coincidence that after Walker Buehler got out of that, he looked like the Walker Buehler who once walked off the field in a playoff scenario and got a standing ovation from Sandy Koufax. He regained some of his confidence. I don't think there's any doubt that's what happened last night. When he got out of that jam, it was like, okay, I can do this. This is me. I feel like me again. And then it carried over. And then the Dodgers started hitting home runs, and 8-0 was the final score. So I'm not one of those that gets all like, I thought that was a cool thing to watch last night. I didn't want to watch it. I hope I never see it again. But I can appreciate when people, because I think I can understand. I think I understand what it would be like to struggle on such a big stage. Obviously, I'm not a professional athlete, but I bet you that's so hard, and you get in your head really badly. And so I can appreciate somebody getting in their head in a good way. And that's what it seemed like he did. I hope he gets his shit kicked out of him next time he gets on the mound. But I can appreciate what he was able to accomplish last night. And I think getting out of that big jam early propelled him and his team to a victory. Game 3 is tonight, back at Citi Field, 7:08, reduced to FS1 once again. Disrespectful.
Number 3.
Okay, Bennett, you sent me this story.
Yeah.
I think I noticed this was a thing, but I didn't notice it was a controversial thing.
Yeah.
Because I, like you, I go to the grocery store sometimes and I buy chips. I like to have chips around the house.
I love chips at the house. Yeah, it's my vice.
I like to have...
I like a chip.
I like a chip. Will you just eat a bag of chips? Like, will you just pop open a bag of Doritos?
So typically it's like, I don't know why, but, and it's one of the reasons I did this story. I'm typically not buying like, you know, even though I love Doritos, it's my favorite chip.
Sure.
But I'm not just going to the store and buying a bag of Doritos. Typically, we're buying like tortilla chips and like some salsa.
That's my thing. I'm happy with a tortilla chip and a nice cheese dip.
Yeah, and I think
nice queso.
And I guess I've convinced myself that like tortilla chips are like healthier than like chips with like flavoring. Like
I don't know if that's
true. I don't think that's true at all.
I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, but it's just that's what I do. I love a chip and salsa.
I like a nice tortilla chip and a nice queso.
Oh yeah,
I
like
enjoy
a good queso.
Yeah. I like a good queso fundido. I don't think you even know about a queso fundido.
I know that's got the little chorizo. It's sprinkled in, right?
I love chorizo.
I know you do. I've known that about you.
I think that's my Mexican heritage.
It must be. I like chorizo. I think it's good. I don't seek it out necessarily.
I seek it out.
Do you?
I literally seek it out once a week. You mean do some free advertising?
Yeah.
Once a week, I drop my kids off at school and go straight to Sunrise downtown. And they have a chorizo bowl.
Oh.
I don't even have to order it anymore. I walk in and they go, chorizo bowl? I say, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Chorizo. It's terrific.
It's great.
It's
Okay.
great.
Okay.
That's a great little spot, by the way.
I've never been to
It's terrific.
Sunrise.
It's clean and big and spaced out. Service is wonderful. Chorizo.
That sounds good.
That's how much I love chorizo. I just drive.
That way.
I just go that way. I just pass work and go that way to go sit down and have a chorizo bowl at least once a week.
Okay.
I'm gonna go do it tomorrow morning.
That sounds good.
Okay. So I like a good chip with queso, even queso fundido, because of how much I appreciate chorizo. But I'm not just gonna open up a bag of Lay's. I don't do that.
Right.
I'm not just gonna open a bag of. My kids will do that. I don't do that. But I have noticed that if you are buying tortilla chips or Lay's or Doritos or whatever, the bag is always bigger than it's always. If the chips were a person, think of it like this: if the chips were a person, it looks like they're a person wearing an extra large shirt when they really just need a medium. You might look at them and go, "It's good to see you, but why is your shirt so big?
Yeah,
you're a little fella." This is the way chips have been for a while.
It really is.
You go, okay. That's a nice number of chips, I guess. But why is this bag so not full? Why is the bag so big?
Why is there so much air in this bag?
Why is there so much air in the bag? Because I don't want to get specific, but let's say you got a bag about like that.
Yeah.
The actual chips,
they're way down.
They're way down.
Yeah, dude, you open that bag and that air hits you in the face.
I don't want that air to hit me in my face.
No.
You know what I want to be hit in the face with? Chips.
Yes.
I want to open that bag and chips
start falling out.
Yeah, they just burst out. It's almost like
one of those confetti things confetti boxes that you open.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want to be blasted in the face with chips.
Me too.
I don't need no air.
No.
There's plenty of air out here. I don't need you to put. They're selling me air in a bag.
They are, and the thing that they do to get over on you too is like you said, the bags are bigger and bigger and bigger with a lot, and then they put the little yellow label to say that it's on sale, and you're like, whoa, what a deal! Look at this giant bag of chips that's on sale. It's just half air.
The chips don't fill that bag.
No,
the chips don't fill that bag. Okay,
they just inflated that thing.
Okay, well, I got some good news. They're about to change it.
Okay.
Tostitos is taking a stand. I'll read straight from the story.
Okay, Tostitos.
The owner of Lay's, Doritos, Tostitos, and Ruffles chips will put more chips in some bags to claw back customers tired of higher prices with skimpier bags.
We're tired of it.
We've had enough. We've had enough air in our bags. Stop selling me bags of air.
Yep.
Sell me bags of chips filled to the brim.
I'm glad Tostitos is doing this.
What is weird, you go to a Mexican restaurant, they give you a little basket of chips, fill it up.
Yeah, don't tell me it's too expensive.
They fill it up. Man, they can't wait to give you chips.
I know. As soon as that basket's empty,
fill it up. Overflow.
Yeah,
overflow chips. Why at a Mexican restaurant are they overflowing with chips, but you go to Kroger and they're trying to sell you air in a bag?
Someone got greedy.
And y'all want to y'all sure you want to shut the southern border?
Yeah, no
Are
kidding.
You sure? Are you sure? Ain't no Mexican restaurant trying to sell me a bag of air.
No.
They will. If I said I need 1,000 chips on my table right now,
they're gonna come dump them all over the table.
You know what they say? They'd say, "See."
Yes.
And I have 1,000 chips in my. The Mexican restaurants ain't stingy with their chips
at all.
I can't say the same about Lay's and Ruffles.
I'm glad they're changing their ways. I hope that this comes to fruition.
You gotta learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, because they've been getting over on us, and we need more chips.
They thought we wouldn't notice. But we've noticed. We've taken a stand.
I've noticed,
and now we've created real change. I look forward to buying my next bag of chips.
Me too. I get the Tostitos specifically. They do the lightly salted, which is nice because
you prefer yours lightly salted?
I don't, but
then you shouldn't mind them. That makes no sense.
Yeah, well, the doctor was like your cholesterol levels.
I know your cholesterol.
Yeah,
I get it. I understand what you're saying. And I
like salt a lot.
I don't. How about this? I don't put salt on anything. I don't use salt.
No. I don't use salt.
Like the salt shaker.
No,
I can't tell you.
I never do that. That's crazy. That's actually insane.
People do that.
People do that. Like.
I don't even need a salt shaker. I don't even think I have a salt shaker.
My father-in-law does that like on everything, and I'm just like, damn, dude.
Relax.
Like anything we eat when we're eating dinner, he'll do a little, and I'm like, whoa.
I'm not anti-salt. I'm just saying, because I know it serves some purposes. I'd have to Google exactly what, but I know it does some good stuff. It's just that you'll never.
No, I wouldn't do that.
There's never going to be a secret video of me that gets leaked. Me putting salt on stuff. You're not going to see that.
Right, but I love chips, and there's a lot of salt on those. So I appreciate the lightly salted.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I think I do too. I can't wait to get a bag of chips.
Me too.
Little air, but not much air.
Yeah, less air. It's like when you get a Coke at like McDonald's or something, you're like, yeah, but less ice or just a little bit of, yeah.
They always think they're getting over. They always think they're
Yeah.
getting over with you on that, with all that ice. Just a little bit of soda in there.
Yeah.
Man, we're just walking around getting scammed every day, aren't we?
We really are. We really are.
We've lost our way.
I think we have. People are catching on, though.
People are catching on.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't going to be able to get away with this forever, Ruffles.
No,
your day was always going to come, Lays, and that day it has arrived.
Yeah.
Number 4.
The Sixers played another preseason game last night. They lost another player.
Damn.
This time it's rookie Jared McCain. He had to go to the hospital.
What?
He took a hard fall. Boom! That is a hard fall.
Dang, he hit his head.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He looked like Tua.
That was let's see.
Boom!
Oh.
Tua McCain. It's probably over for him.
Ouch.
That's a hard fall. At what point did the Sixers just say, hey, at what point did the Sixers, Daryl Morey, just pick up the phone and call Adam Silver and be like, we're done with these. We're not playing any more preseason games.
Oh, I do think that you're going to see, because we talked about this a little bit, but like, the teams schedule these preseason games out. Like this isn't like an NBA schedule necessarily. Like the teams decide who they're going to play. I'm pretty sure.
I would decide I'm not playing anybody ever again.
Yeah, like I think.
Look, Jared McCain's dead, and we're still talking like he's not.
I think you're going to get to the point where you see maybe like you'll probably see less preseason games, and it'll be like you said earlier this week, like the Grizzlies will play the Hawks and the Pelicans, and the travel will be limited. I think we're going to lean towards that sooner than later.
You know what I'd do? I'd play CBU and Lemoyne Owen inside FedEx Forum, be done with it.
Yeah.
Just the Grizzlies against CBU one night, the Grizzlies against Lemoyne Owen the next night, we're done with it.
Dude, we play here tomorrow night, and I saw that like John and Jaren are questionable because it sounds like they're obviously going to be ready for the opener. But I believe they're questionable for the preseason game tomorrow, and I'm just like, I'm good.
Nope.
Like
I
don't need to see them.
Like, there is nothing that will make me. There's nothing good that can happen tomorrow night that would make me as happy as I would be sad if something bad happened.
Exactly. Like if Ja came out and scored 45 tomorrow night in a preseason game, I'd be like, okay.
I wouldn't be as happy at that as I would be sad if Ja played and
got hurt.
Anything.
Yeah.
So, I don't need to see it. Just get me to opening night, man.
Just get me there. Yeah.
And get the Sixers to opening night. Hadn't they been through enough?
Man, they really are going through it.
Joel Embiid's always hurt. Paul George is currently hurt. And Jared McCain just died.
Yeah.
It's tough up there, man.
That's bad.
I hope they get it figured out.
We'll see.
Number 5.
Rest in peace, Liam Payne.
Dude, okay, this was wild to see yesterday.
First off, I saw his dead body.
I did too. I thought that was kind of...
TMZ has taken all that down now.
I know they have. There's a lot of blowback from that.
But initially it was like, hey Tim, because it was like they offered up the photo to prove that he was dead. And it's like, hey, we'll just take your word for it. You don't have to show us.
Right.
I mean, I didn't mind it because
I know.
I'm comfortable with dead bodies and murders and everything else.
Yes.
I've seen it all. I sent you a wild one yesterday.
That one was out of control.
Me and Bennett really do send murder videos to each other.
The one you sent me
if you
yesterday
want to know about
was
our friendship.
Wild. That was
the wildest.
The wildest thing I've ever seen.
And you want to know what? This is one of the things I appreciate about you. You're like the only person I'm comfortable sharing these things with.
Yeah.
I don't send them because when I send them to other people,
I don't know how they're going to react.
I know when I send a good murder video to you, you're going to appreciate it.
Yes.
I send it to some of my other friends. It goes dark real quick. Like they don't talk. They don't even respond. I don't get a thumbs up or nothing.
This dude.
Tell him what happened.
Okay, so this dude, like, I guess he stole another guy's phone, or at least that's what it says.
That's the allegation.
Yeah, these captions, you got to take them with a grain of salt because it's not always true or accurate. But he gets out of the car. This dude gets out of the car with like an AK-47.
The biggest gun.
The biggest gun you've ever seen.
Definitely the one if you were going to try to get a bunch of kindergartners, this is the one you get.
And he goes, give me your phone. Or he goes, give me the phone. And he doesn't even give him a chance to give him the phone. He just blasts him.
Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop. Obviously, the guy drops. And then tell him what the fella did next.
He kicked him in the head when he was dead.
Hold on. I didn't mean to laugh at that. That was crazy. That's a crazy thing to laugh at.
Yeah.
But what a wild video.
Yeah, he kicked him in the head when he was dead.
I guess if you're about to do life in prison, you might as well get a kick in.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I never done it.
It was pretty insane and
okay,
shocking.
So I'm not offended by these images, right? But TMZ, not everybody's me and Bennett. You can't just be throwing One Direction's dead body on TMZ.com.
Right.
Like, just tell us he's dead. We'll take your word for it.
Right.
You got the Prince one. You got Michael Jackson. You got Kobe. If you tell us somebody from One Direction's dead, I'm just going to assume you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to see proof. They showed us the proof, though. It's clearly him. Wild story. Do you know the story?
No.
Let me give you a little background on this story.
Okay.
So, this fella, Liam Payne, he was in One Direction with Harry Styles.
Yes.
Like, I don't follow it, but he was in a band with Harry Styles, so he's a big deal.
Yeah. No, he's a big deal. Yeah.
Okay. So he had an ex-girlfriend and a current girlfriend. And the ex-girlfriend had, earlier this month, accused him of troubling behavior. Wouldn't stop calling, wouldn't stop messaging, would call from different numbers. She would block one number. He would call from another number. She'd block that number. She would ask him, please don't ever contact me again. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't let up. It was that kind of that kind of thing.
Got it.
To the point to where she went public with this. She was like, you guys can keep thinking this is the best guy in the world. I'm telling you, he is harassing me. He is scaring me. And if anything ever ends up happening to me, know that is the person who is responsible. More than that, though, she said, I already know if something happens to him, people are going to blame me for talking about this publicly. But what am I supposed to do? I'm tired of keeping his secrets.
Okay.
He is harassing me and scaring me. I have asked him to stop. Other people I've brought into this, and we've done everything we can do, and it will not stop this behavior. So I don't know what to do anymore. So that's just something that happened. And that is something that happened, like, you got to be deep online to even know that happened when it happened. How about this? I'm on TMZ.com every day. I don't remember hearing anything about some dude from One Direction's ex-girlfriend is saying he's a stalker, crazy stalker, right? I don't remember that. But that is something that happened within the past week or two. Okay. Meantime, he has this new girlfriend, and he's in Argentina with her, okay? The new girlfriend left him in Argentina 2 days ago. All right? So I'm just connecting some dots here. I don't have any idea, but this is the most informed speculation that's out there right now. The new girlfriend just thinks he's in love with the new girlfriend. Then the old girlfriend says, actually, he won't stop calling me. He's calling me every day, harassing me every day, saying he wants me every day. I don't think it's too far of a reach to think maybe the new girlfriend didn't like finding all that stuff out.
Sure.
And I don't think it's too far a stretch to think that maybe she decided, well, then I got to go. I'm out of here. This ain't for me. All right? I thought you still focused on your ex-girlfriend to that extent?
I'm out, yeah.
So now you got this erratic guy clearly struggling with his mental health. Combine that with drugs and alcohol. The hotel called 911 yesterday at like 5 o'clock and said, there's a guy, he is drunk, he is high, he is out of his mind, he is trashing his room. We can't get access to the room. He's been acting erratic in the lot everywhere. Like, we need your help. We have a man here who is out of control. And by the time they got there, he was dead. He fell from the 3rd floor of this hotel. And it is unclear at this point if he jumped intentionally or if he was just out of his mind and accidentally fell off of the 3rd floor. Either way, the end game's the same. It's the end game. It's over.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to ask you if you think he. Here's the thing that might make me think it's an accident. Would you be confident jumping from a 3rd floor?
Oh, no.
I think I'd want to jump from the 30th.
Yes, that actually makes a lot of sense. No, I would not be comfortable. I think jumping from the 3rd floor, I'd be scared. That I would be laying on the ground with 2 broken legs and a broken arm and like fully conscious, yes.
Or like, maybe I bust my head and I got brain damage for the rest of my life, but I didn't really finish the job.
Right.
I think I'd want to finish the job, but I'd be too uncertain the 3rd floor would do that for me. So it is possible he was just,
messed up and fell, yeah.
It's, who knows? Either way, what a sad deal,
It is sad, yeah.
What a sad deal. And sad for everybody, right? I bet you this new girlfriend is probably having some second thoughts about leaving him alone, whether what she did was warranted or not. I bet that creeps into your head a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet you the ex-girlfriend, because she acknowledged in advance of this, I know if something bad happens to him, everybody's going to blame me because of what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I bet she's now having I bet she's struggling a little bit with that too.
Yeah.
Is that
I
fair?
bet so too.
Would you struggle with
Hell
that?
yeah.
You would. I think you would. I think if you got any sort of heart in there, even if you know you did the right thing, you'd struggle a little bit with that, wouldn't you?
Yes.
I knew somebody who passed recently, and it happened. It's kind of a similar deal. It was a drug overdose, but it was a spat with the girlfriend, and it was like, well, I'm leaving, and like the next day he was dead, something like that.
Damn.
And you tell this person, this is not your fault. You did not. This is not your fault.
Mm-hmm.
When you left, you had good reasons to leave, and what happened after that is just something that happened after that.
Right.
It's not your fault. But she didn't feel that. She felt some level of responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
and that made me sad.
Yeah.
I bet you carry that around with you.
I bet so too. Yeah.
Is there anything happier we could talk about? I'm getting depressed.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sad now.
I'm getting depressed.
Let's go
Jesus
back
Christ.
to talking about chips.
Yeah, I'm glad we're getting less air in our bags.
Yeah,
That's
me
what I'm
too.
really.
Yeah.
Let's just spend like a little bit more time on less air in the bags of chips.
Yeah.
Because this whole One Direction thing. Whew.
I know. I haven't seen any. I'm sure that you'll see stuff from the other guys. At some point.
There's people. Rest in peace. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
buddy, and I hope you're at peace now. There's a lot of that. All indications are he has been spiraling.
Yeah.
For a little while, and what I gather from reading is that nobody or very few people are surprised that this ended badly because it was headed in a bad direction for a little while. But that didn't make it any less sad when
Right.
it actually goes down this way.
Right.
Yuck.
Sad story.
You sent it to me, Bennett. I just read all about it,
I
but
know.
you sent it to me.
It's like one of the biggest stories in the world right now.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. All right. We'll be back with GP's Carol. We'll try to laugh or something.
We have not talked to you since we got the big fella that's going to go next to you.
What has impressed you about him, though? Just being on the same court with him, because you've watched him a lot in college. You got to see him. We got to see him very, very little in summer league.
Very quick twitch, like decision making. Yeah. No real fear of anything. Like very vocal, able to talk through the game. But I mean, like, do win Player of the Year twice. Like
I know.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Is Ja Morant the player in the NBA with the most approved going into this season?
Ja Morant is one of the best players in the world. He's one of the best players in the world.
On the court, there is no question, barring injury, that what Ja Morant is.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Justin Timberlake. I'm bringing sexy back. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
Come pigeon with us, Roser. Roser, right here.
You get downward dog.
Yes,
Okay. You're gonna go leg up.
I cannot.
Okay.
Leg under.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I thought that's what you were doing.
Go back.
Yeah, but then you sit. Oh, you're flexible.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're in the Bill Ford Tough Studio. Let's wrap it up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
A whole bunch of stuff, but I think the most important, let's make it light. Can we lighten up a little bit?
Yeah, lighten it up.
Jesus Lord.
Yep.
Can we lighten it up just a little bit? I think the most important thing is that real change is coming to the chip game.
Yes, it is. No more air in those bags.
No more air in those bags. You walk into Kroger, you're going to notice next time you pick up a bag of Fritos or Lay's or Ruffles. Do you like a Ruffle?
It's fine.
Ruffle's been there forever, though.
I never seek it.
I don't mind a Ruffle.
Nah.
I don't seek it either. In fact, you could put a bag in front of me and I won't open it. But if it's already opened, I'll stick my hand in there and grab a Ruffle. I ain't scared to touch a Ruffle.
My favorite chip's just the classic Dorito nacho cheese. That's my number one favorite. Followed by anything kettle cooked. Anything kettle cooked is pretty elite.
I think I like kettle cooked.
Anything kettle cooked is elite. And then, I just love a good tortilla chip.
I need to correct the record. I say I never eat just like a bag of chips. I might have like a Tostitos, a corn chip, or tortilla, and some queso and some cheese dip. I'll do that. I'm happy to do that.
Yep.
But I said, but I'm not just going to be eating bags of chips.
Right.
I do on planes sometimes.
Have a bag of chips.
And like Sun Chips.
Oh, God, I love Sun Chips
I love a Sun Chip, too.
A Sun Chip, the garden salsa. Mwah.
I love a Sun Chip, too.
Amazing. Just amazing. I love a Sun Chip.
How you feel about a Wheat Thin?
Oh, I love Wheat Thins.
I like a Wheat Thin.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I've always enjoyed a Wheat Thin.
I don't know. We have Wheat Thin problems. I think they fill their bag up pretty good.
They do pretty good with those, actually. They're in a box.
That box is it's like a disguise.
Oh yeah.
You don't really know. You don't really know what you get.
Right.
They disguise it.
I like a Wheat Thin. Another chip that is amazing is the Zapp's Voodoo chips. Those are just incredible.
Them.
Yeah.
I know about
those have been doing well for a long time.
Hey,
shout out Zapp's.
Speaking of Kroger, I read a wild story about Kroger.
What?
The other day. I was going to bring it in, but it was just too complicated.
Okay.
Even for me. And so I don't know why I'm bringing it up now, but we're talking about chips inside Kroger. Okay. Kroger is implementing in some of their stores facial recognition technology.
Okay.
And what they will be able to do, what they're already able to do, but what they're going to be able to implement is they'll know you're at the store when you're at the store. They have your entire history of orders.
Okay.
They know exactly what you are willing to pay for anything.
Yep.
Bennett has paid X amount of dollars for these chips before. Let's see if he'll pay a little more. It'll be price surging.
Oh, I don't like that.
They really might. Let's say that my history, the Gary Parrish Kroger history, says that I love low carb tortillas because I do.
I like them too.
I buy them every time. I always have low carb tortillas. Okay, they know that I buy them every time I come there. And let's say they charge me $6 for them. I don't know what they cost. Let's call it $6. That seems appropriate. They go.
Seems a little high.
Is it? I don't know.
I'd say like $3.99.
Okay, let's say let's take $3.99 there.
Yeah.
They might go, okay, customer Gary Parrish is willing to pay. He pays $3.99 for low carb tortillas every time he's here. Let's see if he'll pay $4.99. And then they go. Gary Parrish he doesn't even hesitate. He's paying $4.99 for these every time. Let's see if he'll pay $5.99.
I don't like that.
And then they'll get to a point where they'll say, okay, well, it looks like Gary Parrish is not willing to pay $11 for low-carb tortillas, so we need to take it back down to where he was at 10. Like, that's the way this is going to work.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You don't like it? Feels
gross. Feels gross.
Another
thing I don't like while we're talking about it is, self-checkout. That's like the way of the land these days. You got to do self-checkout, right? If you want to have a fast checkout experience, you got to do self-checkout, which is fine. I'm fine doing self-checkout. The thing is, though, as someone who likes to enjoy a drink every now and again, just let me scan my own ID. And
they always got to have somebody come over there.
Yeah, because the thing is they come over and scan your ID on the little scanner and then enter their number. But if you're scanning why can't I just scan?
I'll tell you why.
The scan.
I'm about to tell you why.
Okay.
Because you could hand your ID to an 18-year-old and they could just scan it and get on with their beer.
Yeah, but doesn't the scan if you're underage, wouldn't the scan say, hold up, you're underage?
But what if my underage neighbor used your driver's license to scan? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
You really didn't figure that one out?
I mean, who's just letting people use their IDs to...
How you think I bought beer when I was 16?
Yeah, I got it.
Shouts to Josh Savage.
No, we had...
Man, I was rocking Josh Savage's ID, buddy. I can't tell you how many times I got into Silkies on a Josh Savage ID. You ready for this? One time I got into Silkies with Josh Savage's ID, got my wristband, went outside, gave Josh Savage's ID. They wouldn't let him in. They said, we know this ain't you. It's that other fella.
Damn.
Couldn't even get in on his own ID because I was getting in on his ID.
That's tough.
It is tough.
I don't know. I'm always getting held up at self-checkout with these ID situations.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
When you were a kid, did an adult ever buy you liquor or beer?
Yes.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
Would you ever do that for somebody?
I mean, I wouldn't break the law.
This is something that I did when I was in high school. We would literally sit outside of a liquor store and wait for somebody who looked sketchy, who looked like they might be willing to break the law.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, hey, here's $40.
Get whatever you want. Yep.
And they would do it.
Yep.
Would you ever do? If some kid approached me, I would go, where are your parents? So what I was begging people to do for me when I was a kid is something that I can't even imagine the people who would do that for kids. And you're thinking about you would do it.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
You've done it.
No, I have not. I've never done that. I've never done that. I swear to God.
Like if somebody's child was standing outside of a
stop saying it like that. Like somebody's child. Like it's like a little 6-year-old
everybody is somebody's child.
Coming up to me.
Everybody is somebody's child.
Like
you go tell the mama and daddy whose baby boy is drinking because you bought him beer illegally.
It's not their baby boy. It's like a 15-year-old degenerate kid.
Okay, let's put exact terms on it.
Yeah.
15-year-old kid.
15's out of bounds.
15's
out of bounds. 15's out of bounds. I think the threshold starts at 18.
Okay, let's call it 18. Bennett, you go to the liquor store today when you get off work because you can't wait for game 4 of the NLCS.
Right.
All right? You're walking out and a person that looks exactly 18 says, excuse me, hey, I'm trying to get a bottle of vodka because I'm really fired up about game 4 too. But I don't have my ID. Would you be willing to go in and buy this bottle of vodka? I think it'll cost about $20. Here's $40. You can keep the change.
I'd say, look, man, a bottle of vodka, like I don't know if you're ready for that. All right. I don't want to contribute to something going wrong.
Okay.
I'll buy you a tall boy.
You would buy the tall boy illegally for this 18-year-old. I would not, in part because I would be scared of getting in trouble for it. Because I'm not going to get on WREG.com. Gary Parrish, CBS Sports, buying beer, buying tall boys for 18-year-olds. I'm not going down that path, all right?
We had a dude at my old job that would tip us in tall boys.
Who, Brett Carson?
No, not that previous job. Before then, yeah. I was like young.
Yeah, that seems. I wouldn't do it in part because I would be scared of getting myself in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't want to get in trouble either.
But I also wouldn't do it because I would feel like a scumbag. Like I'm putting alcohol in. What if this person's never drank before? What if I'm their introduction to alcohol?
That's the thing.
And then they end up an alcoholic and they go on a killing spree, and it all traces back to that day in that liquor store.
Yeah,
I don't want to live like that.
Yeah, John says too much liability these days. I think he's right. I think we lived in a different time.
We lived in a different time.
We lived in a different. Now everything's under a microscope.
Because okay, so this is interesting. It was 100% hit rate. If we stood outside a liquor store long enough, somebody's going to buy us what we were trying to get. 100%.
Right.
Is it 100% hit rate now?
No. I don't think so.
I think if you offer...
First off, most liquor stores have security now. And so, like, if you're just hanging around outside a liquor store, you're probably getting booted.
That's right. I think at a liquor store, you're always going to be able to find somebody who doesn't have much money and has a real problem. And it's like, you'll give me an extra $20? That's an extra bottle for me.
Yeah.
I'll do it, sure. Yeah, I think you will still be able to find somebody to do that. But I wouldn't do it. That's the point I was trying to make. I would not do it.
I would not do it.
Bennett's a little more up in the air about it.
I would not.
What's today's biggest game?
It's game 4 of the NLCS Dodgers and Mets, Citi Field, Queens, New York. Game 3 did not go well. God, game 3.
That was bad.
It just wasn't what I wanted.
That was bad, dude.
It was not what I wanted or expected.
Who we got tonight?
Okay.
Who's on the mound?
Well, the Mets are going with Jose Quintana.
Okay.
Who has actually been pretty good. And the Dodgers are countering with Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the Japanese phenom, who this season was 7-2 with a 3.00 ERA. You might have heard me say yesterday that in every game going forward, the Mets were expected to have the pitching advantage except one.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one, unfortunately, because if you lose this one, you're down 3-1.
Right.
Game 6 and 7 back at Dodger Stadium. That's probably going to do it. This is not a must-win. I hate it when people say stuff like that. And I guarantee if you turn on the FS1 pregame show tonight, somebody's going to ask somebody else, is this a must-win for the Mets? No, it's not. Because no matter what happens, they're playing tomorrow. So it's not a must-win. But if you want to get out of the series or feel like you have a chance to get out of the series, you don't need to go down 3-1 with game 6 and 7 at Dodger Stadium. It's not a must-win, but, man, you really do need it. Dodgers are minus 145. The Mets are plus 120. How are you going to act?
I think I'm going to take the Mets. Bounce back situation. Yeah.
I would want to bounce back if I were in this situation.
Yeah, I think I'll take the Mets.
I feel like I want to bounce back.
Where's Pete Alonso?
What do you mean, where's Pete Alonso?
I mean, where you at, bro? Need that bat.
He almost got one out early last night.
Mm-hmm.
He almost got one out early last night. It's time to show up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Magic and Queens tonight.
Such little things in baseball, too. The Dodgers get the bases loaded, and they capitalize.
Yeah.
The Mets get the bases loaded. They don't. Early on, Severino, bobbled 2 balls back to the pitcher. If you don't do that, you get out of that clean. And then the game just gets away from you.
Yeah.
Golf and baseball are two of the sports where these very little things that can happen change the entire outcome of everything. Here's a ball back to Severino. If he fields it cleanly, it's a play at the plate, out, or Francisco Alvarez early in the game. Ball hit right in front of the plate. He gets it, tries to get the force out at second, tries to get the lead runner, which I understand. But as soon as I saw him going that way, I audibly said, no.
Yeah.
Safe at second, safe at first. Now you're in trouble. Little bitty things. On the golf course, it'll be something like you got an approach from 120. It hits at the edge of the bunker and falls back in. If it was 2 inches further, you're birdie putting.
Yeah.
Now you're playing out of a bunker. Little things, these inches, and they change the entire outlook of everything. That's really what happened in that baseball game last night. I mean, it got away from them, but early on, it was just little bitty things that went right for the Dodgers and wrong for the Mets. Maybe it flips around tonight. Maybe it flips around. I hope so, too. 7:08 first pitch, FS1. Bennett says take the Mets at plus 120. I hope he's right.
What are we watching on TV?
Okay, I need to apologize to you. Remember I told you I like apologizing when I'm wrong? I won't apologize for no reason, but I'm happy to apologize when I'm wrong.
Okay.
I owe you an apology. I owe everybody an apology. The other day, I told you season 3 of The Lincoln Lawyer was available on Netflix because I went to Netflix.com and it was prominently featured.
Yeah.
Season 3, The Lincoln Lawyer. And what I would have found out if I would have clicked on that or paid any attention to it at all is that it also said right there, coming Thursday.
Yeah.
So I had people, I saw it in the chat. I apologize. I was wrong. I don't have a problem saying I'm wrong when I'm wrong. I was wrong. I told you on Tuesday you could watch The Lincoln Lawyer, and it wasn't true. And you couldn't even watch it on Wednesday. But if you want to watch it now,
okay,
you can. Season 3 is now available, streaming Netflix.com.
What's the best thing we've read?
So my colleague over at CBS Sports, Matt Norlander, has ranked the top 101 college basketball teams in the country. He used to do like all 350 whatever.
Yeah.
He got lazy. So now he only does 101.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Hey, he just...
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a little too comfortable in your job.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, you get your job and you go, oh man, I need to rank all 300 and whatever schools.
It's fine.
And then you go, hey, you know what? That's a lot of work. Maybe I'll just do 101. So he does 101 now. It's fine. Where do you think he's got Memphis?
I'm going to say he's got Memphis at 36.
29.
Okay.
Memphis in the top 30.
Not bad.
Here's what he wrote, which is just a funny way to start it. It's wild times at Memphis these days, which is to say everything's normal.
That's good.
Penny
That's
Hardaway's
good.
program is under NCAA investigation again. It's unclear what said investigation will lead to, and it's undetermined if Hardaway's actually on the hot seat or not. He made unusual late off-season changes to his staff. So, yeah,
all true.
All
yeah.
true. It's all. I'm not going to argue with facts, you know? Not going to argue with facts, but that's the other thing to remember. Despite the loss to North Carolina the other night in an exhibition, despite all the chaos connected to the program, and it's more than there should be, they still got a basketball team that at least Matt Norlander thinks is one of the top 30 in the country.
Okay.
We've got two computers in Ken Pom and Bart Torvik that think they're both top 50 in the country. And clearly, according to the computers, the best team in their league, the AAC. Now, that ain't saying much,
Right.
but according to the computers, they're clearly the best team in their league from a talent perspective. So I hope nobody ever gets, because I'm already waiting on it. Like, I know how this stuff, I've been doing this long enough, I know how this stuff works. You write a column saying this Penny Hardaway thing is too crazy. Like, it's just, it's too much. It's exhausting. And then they'll go win their league, go to the NCAA tournament. People are like, oh, both things can be true at the same time. This is exhausting and not the way the program should be run. That's true. But they still are good enough to win their league. And I expect them to do it. Both things can be true at the same time. And I hope people recognize that. When they go win their league, if they win their league and go back to the NCAA tournament, it will not mean that all the shit that's been going on here isn't crazy. It'll just mean that they still were able to acquire talent at a better rate than anybody else in their league. It's actually evidence of why they should be trying to move leagues, because even when their program is being run in a chaotic way, it's still so much bigger and better than every other program. It's another reason they should be to change neighborhoods, because even when your program is being run like this, you can still win your league and should. You ready for this? Memphis should never not be favored to win this league.
Right.
Never in men's basketball. Never. They have more resources than anybody. They have more money. They have more money to spend on players than anybody else in the AAC, and that should give them a better roster, literally every single year. So, the chaos is the chaos, but the team still should be good enough to win a bad league, and that's what I expect they'll do.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Friday. That means Jessica Benson in studio. That's always a good time. That's always a good time. Talk to Jessica tomorrow. Get ready for final preseason game for the Grizzlies before next week's season opener. Get ready for a big weekend of college football. We'll get to looking back at Game 4 of the NLCS, and we'll preview Game 5. I can't wait.
Me either.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll enjoy mine. Meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.